to Crappens. Don't wait a week for a new video. Join our Patreon at the Crappens On Demand level for instant recap access. Link in description. Enjoy the show. Well, hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast about all the crap we love to talk about on ye old bravs. Hello, everybody. Hello, Ben.
Hi, Ronnie. How's it going?
Good. That's Ben. I'm Ronnie or Rondell, whichever you prefer. Use whichever. Welcome. It's Monday, February 17th. Today is the Real Housewives of Potomac Reunion Part 1. So we'll get into that in a second. Thanks so much for everybody who has been supporting our live tour, the Mounting Hysteria Tour. We've been having a great time with that. You can catch us in March. Are you ready? Get your pens out. We're going to be in Cincinnati, Minneapolis, Toronto, Charlotte, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., and Philadelphia. That is all in March. So go for more cities, ticket links, and all that good stuff over to watchwhatcrappens.com. Also on our Patreon, our traders recaps, as well as videos of all of our recaps, including this one. Hi. So if you want those, go over to patreon.com. And thanks for the support, guys. Love doing this every day. It's like such a great way to live life, for sure. So how are you feeling? How are you feeling about Potomac and all that good stuff?
Oh, my goodness. I loved this first episode of the reunion. I thought it was hilarious. Oh, my goodness. I felt great. How did you feel?
I did, too. I thought it was better than the season. This is a good one for reunions, even without Karen. You know, Karen didn't show up to the reunion, as we'll get into, but they still made it all about Karen, and it was just as fun as if she was there.
Yeah. No, Karen, she's never not there, even when she's not there. Like, her presence is felt, and thank goodness Ashley had the foresight to go to Target and get a cheapo frame and put Karen's picture in it.
Yeah, and you know, that picture frame shame is very on brand for Karen talk, because Karen started out her career on Real Housewives by shaming Giselle with a picture frame filled with rules of etiquette that Giselle should follow. That's right. And so all these years later, season 9, Karen is in rehab, and she is now framed at the reunion. So it's kind of a burn, but it's a fun burn, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Now, hold on.
I was trying to think of a fun burn. I was going to say it's a fun burn. Like, I don't know, is syphilis a fun burn? I'm assuming that's not, but
I feel
like I couldn't think of one.
A jalapeno pepper added into your salsa. It's a little fun burn. Right?
Fun burns. So what did you say is going on over there? What's wrong with you?
Oh, I had downloaded the wrong notes. I had downloaded the notes for a fully different episode. So I was just going to be like, vamp. But all is right. Order has been restored into the Potomac recapping universe.
All right. Well, we see on screen December 20th, 2024, 12 hours after Karen was found guilty of dueling and 6 other charges, including wigs that don't fit, and having sex with chauffeurs with blue eyes. Mm-hmm. So we have a very serious video because Karen is in trouble. And you know, this is America. Yes. And when you're in trouble, what you do is you put on a wig cap. Not a wig cap, a fur cap and mom jeans so that people understand that you're very downtrodden. Okay, this is a very downtrodden fur cap. It was a cap of sadness.
You strip yourself down to your most raw state so you can get that Charlize Theron Oscar. And here's Karen.
In her monster look. Yeah, I was kind of hoping someone would come in, you know, some like PETA person would come in and spray paint her wig just to make it even worse. Because I was watching that video over the weekend of Rihanna trying to get into a car, and one of the PETA people is there, and he's like, how could you wear fur? You're a terrible human being, a billionaire who still wears fur. Fuck you, Rihanna. And one of the paparazzi guys is like, shut up. She looks good in that animal. She looks amazing in that animal.
Yeah, I think America's back in its fur era right now, whether they like it or not.
Jeez.
A lot of things have gone back. So, Karen, we'll have to call up Joanna Krupa to see what she has to say about this, because if I remember correctly, she was a very active member on Real Housewives of Miami. So Karen is now in her guilt and forlorn state. And so producer is like, well, the verdict was read. What was your initial reaction? And she goes, well, my heart dropped. And then we see a bunch of Karen headlines of me in the car. And she goes, This is very frightening, but I accept full responsibility for everything that went on with my car in that accident. And by full responsibility, I mean I happened to just have antidepressants and alcohol. I was not drunk driving. It was just poor prescription planning. That's it.
Yeah, and we start, she says she's taking responsibility while she's not really taking responsibility for anything, which is a very Karen answer. And we see flashbacks to the DUI video, which, by the way, if you haven't watched it, a preview does not do it justice. Go watch it. No. Okay? And so Ray is there, and he's like, well, I had a couple of beers or something like that, right? Karen, she goes, yes, that's all I had. And listen to Ray now. What you will not do is tell me what I can and cannot do. And then the producer's like, so it's only a month till sentencing. How do you feel? And then we see another flashback to Karen in the car, handcuffed. And she's sitting in the front seat, which I don't think that's allowed, but, she's a grand dame. So she's in the front seat. And she's like, do you know who I am? They're never going to touch me. This is like the ray of crimes. It's never going to touch me. So they call me the grand dame. Right now, I don't know what the fuck that's about. Andy Cohen gave it to me. Andy Cohen. And girl, you're talking to a presumably straight, butch police officer. He don't watch your show. You got to know your crowd. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he doesn't know who Andy Cohen is, and the name drop does not work.
No.
And so we come back to her video, and she's like, well, I don't care about me right now. I care about my sweet, sweet children. I care about my family. They are so hurt. I'm like, well, maybe you should have cared about them before you got into the car. Maybe you should have cared about other people's family and children that you could have killed when you got in that car, Karen.
I've already got one daughter with Ray face, and now this. And then she goes, well, I should have probably taken a cab. And the police officer is like, yeah. Now, listen, for someone who apparently, as we hear in the reunion, drives drunk as much as Karen does, you would think that someone would have told her, don't talk. When you're pulled over, admit nothing and don't speak. Don't take a breath. Don't do anything. Just play possum.
Yeah.
Don't wear one on your head when you're doing a fake apology.
But you know what? Trying to talk to drunk people, all the rules go out the window.
Well, that's true.
Much like Karen could have. So she's like, yes, I probably should have taken a cab. And the producer says, do you think that maybe you have an issue with alcohol? No, I am not an alcoholic. Let's be clear. Let me be very clear about something. I take full responsibility. I'm not an alcoholic. I didn't even have anything to drink that night. I was just tired, and I saw a bird the other day and it made me sad, so I got distracted. It happens, full responsibility.
If I'm addicted to anything, it's driving. We should do something about cars being so addictive. It's a very comfortable car. I would rather sit nowhere else while I'm drinking for funsies, not addiction.
Why do we have a right side and a wrong side of the road? Why can't we have all the sides be right? I just want to share my love with both sides of the road, and is that so wrong?
So then they get to the police station, and the cop's like, would you like me to help you out? She's like, no, don't tell me I can do it. Ooh, no, I can't do it. I am lit.
Things you don't want to say if you're trying to tell everyone that you're not drunk driving.
She is just, they might have started out with one criminal offense, and you just see him like ticking more criminal offenses every second. And she goes, now, I know that a lot of little children look up to me. Girl, you are still drunk. There are no little children looking up to you. Now stop that.
Go to the streets of Mumbai and meet the orphans there, and they'll say, when will Karen come and meet us?
In the streets on the police scanners of Potomac. We've been called to another school. There are too many kindergartners and shifty wigs. We're having a crackdown.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see like the armies of children raiding the jail like it was January 6th. Be like, not Auntie Karen.
She has her own Happy Meal.
Karen.
She has her own Happy Meal. They just sell little toys like her props in the show. Little witches.
Hello, this year for the Girl Scouts, we've changed our mission. All proceeds will go towards clearing Karen's name. She means so much to us.
I'll take 6 boxes of the I am lit. Thanks.
So
damn those Girl Scouts, by the way, those little fucking drug dealers. You know, I'm so sick of these Girl Scouts. I have a friend with a brownie, I guess. She's a brownie. I shouldn't call her Girl Scout because, you know, I'm like, I should be harassing the brownies. They're who really deserves my ire today. This little fucking drug dealer is like, Mr. Ronnie, will you support my brownie trip and buy some cookies? It's like, sure, send me 10 boxes of cookies. I've eaten 10 boxes of cookies. How do you stop eating those? I hate those little girls. I'm on to you. I'm on to you, you little witches. All right, we're concentrating on alcoholism on this show, but I'm watching you.
Yeah, I guess I'm fortunate in that all my Girl Scout cookie connects have gone away. So I'm not.
They're afraid of your house. A Girl Scout walks up to your house and you're like, get a job. What are you doing here, child? Get out.
I don't know. If they come with cookies, there's a whole different story going on. You know, I famously don't like children, but children who bring me cookies, you know how it's like, it's supposed to be like Stranger Dangers when the adult like lures children with candies and cookies. I get lured when the children lures me with a cookie.
Yeah, exactly. Who's Stranger Danger now? Those little fucks. They're the creepy white van driving around the neighborhood, and their mom's driving it. They're like, just find a fat person and throw some cookies at his head, and then drain his bank account while he sits there and suffers from diabetes. Bastards.
We've unfortunately lost Ben on the podcast. He's been missing from Watch Crappens for 6 days. This just in, he has been found in a suburban home. He just followed a trail of cookies to a little girl's home, and her mother is feeding him lasagna. It's a very benign abduction.
So a lot of children look up to me. Children believe that Karens are their future. Treat her well and let her lead the way. So then we see 3 weeks later, January 9th, 2025 at 6 a.m. The ladies are arriving to the reunion. And now they're walking around seeing if Karen's name is on any doors.
Stacy is going around and she's going up to Ashley and she goes, is Karen here? I don't see her name anywhere. And she doesn't have a dressing room. And then Kiana, there's a lot of footage of Kiana roaming the hallways. Did they tell Kiana where she's supposed to go? Because we see her going down this hallway for a very long time. They just keep cutting to her, going through hallway to she's like in a whole other building. She's just in the Empire State Building, just going through cubicles and stuff. They're like,
well, I don't think she could find her name either. Poor Kierna. They're like, oh God, Kierna's here. Okay, we got to put Kierna on. Get a name for her somewhere, please. Someone print it. You get to Kierna's room. It's just like drawn in a crayon.
I know. And Greg sitting there in the corner. He's like, you must wear a polo for the reunion.
The AREN is scratched out and it's just like written above it. Kierna.
So when Kierna winds up talking to Wendy, and Kierna says the last time she spoke to Karen was New Year's Eve, and so they try to call Karen, but it goes right to voicemail. And then Wendy tries, and it goes to voicemail. So they're like, "Oh yeah, we're not going to hear from her today. She's not coming."
Oh, and then Wendy is very, very offended because that's Wendy's best look. It's when she's very offended, you know, and she's very offended that Karen won't answer the phone. What are you offended by? You're trying to corner, all of you are trying to corner Karen at her most vulnerable state. And by that, I mean sober. On camera calling when she's not at the reunion. Leave the woman alone. Or don't leave her alone, really. But don't act all offended when she doesn't answer the phone. She's like, how dare she? I woed hard for her. You know, and if nothing else, at least for the people who soldiered for you and supported you, answer the phone. Answer the phone.
Answer the phone. I know you are home. The thing is, like, I think I have two things. Well, okay, here's the nice thing to say. Yes, we're all happy that Karen has gone to a recovery center. Yes, obviously. We always want that for people. That being said, she decided to check in the night before the reunion. So let's not, like, eliminate the fact that this is she's using the old get out of jail free card that comes, except no, she's not really getting out of jail.
Yeah, she doesn't get that anymore.
But she's like, go to jail via card. So she's doing the classic Luann de Lesseps, and I've seen some other people do this. Happen to check into rehab the night before the reunion. And I'm sure there's definitely, obviously mental health reasons to do that because you probably in a fragile state, and the last thing you need is to be hammered from all sides, no pun intended. But then at the same time, like, you did really she lied a lot this season about drunk driving, and I honestly think she should have had her feet held to the fire a little bit before going into rehab. And then at rehab, she can then start the process of healing. But this was very convenient on her part. And I feel bad for these women. This was like the biggest doorway with the biggest pizza that didn't get to be delivered.
So they delivered it anyway. They don't care. They really don't care. They're like, let's just kick her. You know, they're like, just put a doll of Karen on the ground and we'll just kick that. We'll just kick that the whole time. Yeah. So they all come. They look beautiful. I mean, this is a gorgeous cast, and they're in white. So they're in all different, you know, white pearls and white sequins and all of that. And then, of course, we have to ruin it because Ashley's like, my bunions hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they walk out onto this reunion stage that it feels like it feels like an Andrew Lloyd Webber show or something. Like they have built out Panama and there's 3D like renderings of buildings and there's like hats for sale. I mean, it's just so funny because sometimes for reunions they go for something that's like very sleek and cool and chic. And then sometimes like some theater queen gets in there and like gets to build the set that they've always wanted to build. And this one is just fully in the middle of like a Broadway musical.
Yeah, it's like Man of La Mancha over there all the same. Well, that's a jail, so I guess not. But that's the only musical I could think of. The Man of La Mancha. Tilting at windmills, eh? I've actually been hurt doing that. So they come onto this set, and I'm surprised they missed the opportunity to make the set Wendy's birthday party. I really thought that's what they were going to do, because that was an all-white thing, too. So I thought they were going to be like, it's still your birthday, Wendy.
Yeah, I thought they were going to do like Lake Norman or something. You know, like on Beverly Hills and Orange County lately, they have been filming on these kind of like panoramic video screens like The Mandalorian. And it's like, we got taking you to the hills of Beverly Hills or like to the ocean. And I thought maybe they might do that for Lake Norman, but then you just see like a sports car boat going around in circles in the background the entire time and might be a little distracting.
Yeah. God, who knew that was foreshadowing to Karen's future?
I know, right?
So Wendy's like, oh my gosh, look at Giselle's nails. Wow, you can never tell me again about my nails, okay? And Giselle's like, ha, 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 ha. So then, hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Housewives of Potomac Season 9. We're going to be 3 parts. Why? No idea, but here we go. I'm Andy Cohen. I'm in Panama. And it's safe to say that a lot has changed, and we're going to get into that. But there's an elephant in the room, and that is the absence of Karen McCarenston. Everybody, what do you think? The Grand Dame's not with us tonight. Has anybody spoken to Karen? Do they know if Karen has new boobs?
And so everyone's like, no, we haven't talked. Because, okay, well, 3 weeks ago, as you know, Karen was found guilty of 7 out of 8 charges related to the single car DUI crash that happened in March of 2024. Ha, ha, ha. Oh, no, not a laugh? Okay, Karen is not here today because she has checked herself into a private recovery center. What do you guys think about this? So now they all have to actually not say which is what's really on their mind, which is like, she is trying to avoid us. They all have to be like really nice. Like, oh, that's really great. Like, that's so good for Karen. I mean, because it is good for Karen. But, you know, everyone was like, I can't believe that bitch didn't show up today.
Yeah. And Giselle, as you know, kind of shockingly gives the nicest answer where she's like, well, it's fantastic. You know, she lives in a land of delusion. And sometimes we think that's funny and cute. But in this case, it's not. I just want her to get help. And Wendy's like, well, it's interesting that she's doing it before his sentencing. Well, Wendy. I like when Wendy feels like she's solved a mystery. She's like, well, pretty interesting that it's just happening right before the reunion, right? And right before the sentencing. And so she's like, is she doing it because she needs help or because she feels like it will lighten the blow of the sentence? First of all, no alcoholic wants lighter blow. Second of all, as Andy says, who the fuck wouldn't? You know? That's what you do.
Because at first they're like, yeah, it's a conspiracy. And then that's when everyone's like, but shouldn't you do this? That's exactly what you should do, you know?
Yeah. I saw her picking up trash on the side of the freeway. It's almost like she's trying to kiss ass. Yeah, that's what you fucking do. Okay.
Yeah.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
So Ashley, of course, really rises to the moment, and she's like, well, I had a feeling that the Grand Dame wouldn't be here today, so I made sure she would be here in white, so here she is. And she pulls out her cheap picture frame with Karen there, which is just great. They just have it propped up on the side, and they just cut to it at like random times over the course of the hour.
Wait a minute, everybody. Wait a minute. Stacy here. I just want to say, give her some grace. Give her some grace. Stacy's overacting is so fucking funny in this whole reunion. I loved it. I love Stacy even more after this reunion.
Me too. Like, I love the way she goes from like melodrama, but then she's like melodrama, but then when you come for her, she really stiffens up really quickly, and she's very funny.
She does. And she's just her whole like most offended person out of all of the people who have ever lived is my favorite version of her. I think it's so funny. So he's like, well, oh, sorry, man.
I was just gonna say, I feel like a melodramatic housewife, like a purely melodramatic housewife. That's like a special thing, and we actually don't get it as much as we think. Like, people may act melodramatic, but there's some that just are melodramatic, and Stacy is definitely in that camp. So like, she has won me over 3 times over.
Yeah, and you rhymed. So
I did, with my own word. She won me over 3 times over. Guys, you're welcome.
So Andy jokes that she wouldn't be happy about getting second position. And then Ashley's like, no, she doesn't get first position. It's my picture. It's my picture. So she takes it back. So now not only does Karen get to not show up today, she gets to make her own video, which is such bullshit. I don't think she should have been allowed to do this, even though I thought it was one of the best. I thought it was comedically perfect, but it shouldn't have been allowed. I would have been like, nope, objection.
It was so Karen. So first of all, this truly was the Charlize Theron monster trajectory, because if the December video was Karen filming Monster, the pre-reunion video was her accepting her Academy Award for the feature film Monster, because now she's glammed up again, looking gorgeous, actually. I mean, she may never have looked any better. Like, tell this woman she has to go to rehab more, because this is just, she looks great. So then she gives a literal acceptance speech. She goes, okay, ladies, as you have noticed, I am not there. I am going away to a treatment center to address taking antidepressants and drinking. Okay, to address why you made the choice of doing these 2 things. I don't think you're still not taking full ownership of what you did, which was drinking and driving. Okay,
I'm at a treatment center to address the fact that laws are unfair against people who wear possums on their head when they're upset. Hopefully we'll get some laws passed. I'm very sure of it. Now, I would like to get to the bottom of it, but since there's no bottle here, I would be remiss if I didn't take this time to thank those who truly touched my heart during this whole process. First, the possum who died for that fur. That fur got me a long way, ladies. Second, Giselle. Giselle. Hold on, let me adjust my teeth for a moment. The path we've been on together. I was like, oh my God, she's really going to give a speech. She gave a full 3-paragraph speech.
Yeah, she really did. She's like, Giselle, I just really, that note that you put in my flowers that said, roses are red, violets are blue, sorry about rehab. Well, this drink's for you. That was just so kind. I will cherish it always.
I love the card that said, 1 step at a time. 1 foot in front of the other, not side to side. Stop dancing. This is a DUI. You're drunk. Say the alphabet backwards. Very kind, Giselle. Thank you. Giselle's just like,
to the kind officer who arrested me for taking antidepressants while drinking, I just have to say to you, your autograph is on the way. So you just keep an eye out for that one. You're welcome in advance.
I'm also taking a stance against cops flirting with me. Every time they pulled me over. This time I was put in the most sexy handcuffs I've ever seen. You're not getting a piece of this, sir. All right, you're not getting a piece of this.
To the little deer that was so afraid of my car for no good reason, I'll just say, I am going to get out of this place and I shall drive again. So next time you better stay off that median, because I'm coming for you.
And to quote my good friend Rihanna, where are you? Where are you now? Where are you? Where are you now?
I found antidepressants and alcohol in a lonely place. So,
and Kay, to Kay, I would like to give this to Kay. Kay, nobody remembers your name, but I do. And it's K. Let's just stick with K. Can we roll that back? Do we have editing on this video, Ray?
Jassy, you sent me special notes that really touched my heart. And to my car's chassis. I'm sorry for the median situation. We'll get you fixed.
Now I know she's no longer with us on the show, but Candace reached out to me, and she's been a soldier. She's been a soldier for me. So Candace, thank you. Thank you for being a soldier, Candace. Now wait a minute, there's a special person on my list. And Wendy's just sitting there like, really, bitch? Like, it better be me. I would like to thank the Hamburglar. You know, I was stopping at a McDonald's. I was about to eat a hamburger, and a little Hamburglar came and stole it away from me. Thank you for that. That's the reason I look so good today, to accept this award.
I was going to do a McDonald's reference, too. We've been doing this for too many years together. Anyway, to the early bird. The early bird does get the worm, and I note to the early bird, don't have the worm with antidepressants. Could land you in rehab.
Oh, my gosh. So she ends it with, and Andy. Of course, Andy. Andy is the person who's special on my list. Andy, your note meant the world to me. I opened it. It was just some applesauce on a page. And it was kind of like a Rorschach. I had to really stare at it, but I found the love. He's like, oh, I didn't even mean to send her a card. I think I showed her a picture, and my son just splattered apple juice on something. But I'm glad she got it. All right, Andy, I'm not done with my speech. Now, I will be back. And you and Giselle can fight over who called me the Grand Dame first, but I will be coming back as Karen Hugo, because Karen is enough. Today, I drop the mask of the Grand Dame.
I'm just Karen, just the formal Grand Dame, someone going to rehab. I am Karen Hugo. Karen is enough.
I'm just Karen. So then Wendy's, making eyes and stuff. So Andy's like, wow, Giselle's crying. And Giselle's like, well, okay, I'm not a good crier. So he just wants to watch her cry, so he won't move on. So she gives a speech about how Karen's such a good person, and she's really a good person when she's not on the show, because on the show she's like this character and she's full of shit. And then finally Andy lets her go, and Wendy's still rolling her eyes. So he's like, Wendy, you seem unmoved. And she goes, did I? And he's like, yeah. And she goes, and Mia's like, well, I think that it's really interesting that she didn't think Wendy, because they're so close.
Well, I think it would be selfish for me to frame it in that way, because this isn't about me and this is about her. Okay, everyone here that I did acknowledge that this is Karen's moment. Okay, so now we'll go in on her. Thank you very much, everyone. I have reached out to her, and I supported her through the season. And, I feel something, and I'm not trying to conflate the two, because I also feel something about what she told Stacy about me that I saw play out throughout the season. So I feel like, having seen that couple with this, it adds up to, that's not my friend. That's it.
Wow. This is one of the first times on a reunion that we have seen the victim cloak denied. Wendy has denied the victim cloak. Sorry. So they're like, wow, I can't believe her. Wow, Wendy. And Giselle's like, whatever, Wendy. You always knew that she wasn't your friend. And Mia's like, well, I don't know why. I know why. Because you've been supporting her and you've been writing for her. So.
Exactly. That's not my friend. So then we see flashbacks to all the times that Wendy defended Karen. And it's sort of surprising to me, because it always seemed like Karen never really liked Wendy. So Ashley's like, by the way, not to add insult to injury, but in case you forgot, you did take her to the White House. Don't forget, you took her to the White House. She's like, yes, that is in the folder. Yes, thank you.
People are always so excited to go to the White House. That's the place that steals your money every year. The fuck are you so excited about that place for? What do they do? So
listen, we watch House Hunters. Doesn't mean we want to go into any of those houses. But,
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to take a look.
So Wendy is asked, like, why she never acknowledges that Karen doesn't really like her. Because it's an alliance for the show. I mean, we all know that, right? They're just, Karen needs Wendy, and Wendy needs Karen, and that's it. They're not friends outside of the show. Wendy doesn't call Karen when she gets her drunk driving or whatever, you know, at least it doesn't seem like it from this. Because when everybody else is like, I've spoken to Karen, I spoke to her at Christmas, I spoke to her at New Year's. You never hear that from Wendy, but I think that counts. An alliance counts, you know, and I don't blame Wendy for being annoyed. And also, I don't really blame her for keeping her foot on Karen's neck during this whole reunion. Just because Karen didn't show up doesn't mean that they can't still hold her accountable. So, you know,
in fact,
you could have passed for me.
You have to take that privilege of being able to totally go after someone and they can't defend themselves. So, like, you know, there is yes, Karen does not have to face the fire, but at the same time, they get free reign to say whatever they want about her, which, you know, I tend to believe in this case. Yeah. So Wendy is basically like, it's not that I never want to acknowledge that she has issues with me. It's just I take people for what they show me, and she's not shown me that. And
also, I want to say that last year, when my mother was being dragged through the mud, Karen was the one of the only people who stuck up for my mother. And but that's also because Karen, you know, Karen's sticking up for, I think, the older person, and she's also going to stick up for the mom because she can be like, you never come for mothers like you've come for me when my mother, you know, all that. So Andy's like, okay, well, that's fair. Well, one interesting thing about that video was when she said she's going to come back as Karen and not the Grand Dame. Now, is Karen the one who wore the possum on her head, or is that the Grand Dame? I don't want that one back. Tell that one not to come back.
And I would like to point out that, for the record, my eyes almost fell out of my face when my name came up in footage. And really, just anytime I'm on this stage, my eyes are almost always falling out of my face. Ha! Well, just want to point out that I did not coin the term Grand Dame. The lady to the left of me did. And just like, that was me. Yeah.
Didn't you think he was going to say, my eyes almost fell out of my face because I never sent her a card? I could have sworn he was going to say, like, I never sent her anything. What is she thanking me for?
Yeah. So then we see footage of Giselle saying Grand Dame. And so Andy says,
well, the body cam footage from the night of the accident found its way online, and it's really tough to watch. / also kind of funny. Anyway, there were thousands of comments.
So we have comments from people who are just like dismayed with Karen, dismayed that she was actually not owning it in the same way. People telling that they've lost family members to drunk drivers, etc. A lot of anger, etc. Yeah. So Mia's like,
well, I knew, and I've been trying to tell everybody that she needed help.
I'm like, oh yes, Mia, the harbinger of truth at all times.
Mia, the moral center of this show. Love it.
Thank you. That's the better way to say it.
And he's like, well, there's more to discuss on Karen. Don't worry, we'll be dragging her the entire hour. Now, I brought it. And Mia's like, yeah, you know, I saw it because we've been out drinking so many times, and she's gotten behind her car, you know, and watching Karen trying to drive drunk while standing behind her car. I mean, that was very sad to watch, Andy. And I just had to say, if you're going to drive drunk, at least get in the driver's seat. It's been a sad time, Andy.
Then,
well, there's much more to discuss, but first, Dr. Wendy in her brand new decade embarked on a new career path and got herself a new bestie by the name of Giselle. Blah, let's watch Slithers.
So we see clip package of Wendy's season, which is a good clip package because she had a good season. And
boring. Did she have a good season? Did she really?
She had a good season that we liked her, right?
She did, but it was she was good with. I think she interacted pretty well with everybody this season. She was somewhat enjoyable, but I think her storyline stuff was kind of boring. Although, you know, I don't even know what I'm talking about because I'm not a huge fan of storyline stuff anyway. I mostly just like the group scenes and them fighting. So
yeah, exactly.
I'll take that back and shut the fuck up. How about that?
I think that she had a very strong season in terms of just likability and, you know.
All right, well, Wendy, you are lighter and funnier. What do you attribute that to? Specifically, which producer do you want to thank for telling you gotta get this together?
Well, I would like to thank my almost pink slip for that one. That was great. And he's like, okay, you were great. And she's like, well, but 40, it's just so monumental. It's so monumental that my kids are still giving me cereal with candles in it. And, you know, I just wanted to start anew. And quitting my job, that was the weight lifted off me because I was tired of having to conform to antiquated ideas of what professors should be, which I found interesting because that's kind of alluding to the fact that she wanted to get out of there because they didn't approve of her being a housewife, right? Is that how you took it?
I did. I don't know. It's kind of funny because it's like, yeah, like we should have open minds about our professors and whatever. But also it's like, I don't think that professorship is like a protected class. Like if there's certain standards at a university of like behavior that you know, like a university wants of their professors. They don't want like their professors necessarily going on TV and squabbling or whatever. I think that's okay. Like, I think that's okay if a job is like, yeah, we don't love this vibe for our students. That being said, I still back Wendy 100%.
Yeah, and it's also okay to say, fuck this, I don't like it. Bye.
Yeah, absolutely there is. I think she's incredibly smart, and I loved that she was a professor and a housewife.
So Giselle's like, well, they talk about the relationship with Giselle and how it's so much better, and they had a long talk, and Wendy tells us that was actually a 2-hour conversation that they had. And Andy's like, wow, that's a lot of free calamari, am I right? Okay, well, it's great that you guys are open to working with each other, you know. And they compliment each other a lot. And Giselle's like, well, you know, she is majorly articulately. Is that even a word?
No. Now we know who is the professor and who isn't.
But articulately is a word, isn't it? But I think
she said
she's just using it wrong. She's majorly articulately.
Yeah. She was getting too excited about adverbs.
Yeah.
So Andy asks about Happy Eddie, and Wendy says that that's booming, which I don't know. I mean, like I haven't smoked weed in forever, and I really don't go to dispensaries. Do people actually buy a Happy Eddie, or is this just Wendy like full of it? Because I am honestly so sick of Happy Eddie. If I have to hear about Happy Eddie one more time, I'm gonna be sad, Ben.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's like caught on nationally. I mean, there's so much weed, but I mean, I guess they're doing fine. She got to quit her job, you know, so that's good. Mm-hmm. So then he asks if everybody's gotten to try Happy Eddie, and Stacy did. And she's like, oh, I salute your husband's business, and I think you're going to be so successful. And so Giselle's like, aren't you trying to start your own Happy Eddie? Dun, dun, dun. And I don't know, Stacy seems fishy here. What do you think?
She does, but also Wendy seems way too proprietary about like something pretty basic because everyone's starting, you know, these kind of companies. I mean, look at
Tamara did it first. If Tamara doesn't yell at you for doing it, you can't yell at everybody else for doing it, I guess.
I don't even think Tamara did it first. I feel like someone else did it even before Tamara.
Oh, housewife? I mean, the chick from Shaws of Sunset started her woosaw thing, but I think before that, I don't think there was another Housewives weed. Was there?
You know, I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass. It's a Monday. It's what happens sometimes.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't think you can be proprietary, but in your own cast. And her thing isn't that you can't start one. Her thing is like, but I hope you're not doing that without talking to me, because you know that's the rule. You have to get permission from whoever came out with the first wick. And then we see the clip of Karen being like, well, she can enjoy her 3-wick and I can enjoy my 9-wick.
Yeah. And Ashley's like, is it called Spacey Stacy? And she's like, absolutely not. I have not done anything of the sort. No. Although knowing Stacy, she'd probably be releasing some sort of like edible potpourri. It's like, it's not weed, it's potpourri. And now it's a chewable. Enjoy.
So Giselle's like, so you didn't have a meeting with someone and tell them that you're a celebrity? And she's like, absolutely not. She's like, because he asked you, why on earth do I need to work with you? And you were like, because I'm a celebrity, yeah. And she's like, absolutely not. Absolute. Okay, I just can't. Just stop repeating yourself, please.
She's a bad liar. Well, when she comes out with Happy Stacy next season, don't be surprised. And Ashley again goes, Spacey Stacy, come on, I'm trying to give you some branding advice. I would never do such a thing, ever.
Long from John's in Salt Lake City says it was great seeing you prioritize life and take a leap to leave your professor job. Do you really think it's fair to stipulate that your children don't get inheritance unless they get a master's degree? No. I don't think it's unfair to stipulate shit to your children. They don't get shit unless I say they get shit. Okay. And these are my rules for you to get shit. The end.
And so Wendy explains that I thought this was hilarious for a specific reason, because she goes, okay, so we have a trust for our children and there's different stipulations. So whether or not they're going to get money, but if they get a master's, they get X amount of extra dollars. If they learn to speak Igbo, which is our native tongue, they get X amount more. If they get a Toyota Celica, they lose money. If they get a Mercedes, they gain money.
If they come out with
simple.
anything over 3 weeks, they're done. They're done. No money.
And then everyone's like, oh my God, this is a great idea. Wow. And they're all like, yeah, this is great. This is what we should do. And I think it's so funny because like, I feel like there's a sentiment that if kids do what you want, and if a parent pays them a certain amount of money, like, here, you get $200 for doing this, it's considered like bribing your children, and it's kind of like lazy parenting. But like when you frame it as, no, there's a trust, and they'll get money, and they'll just get more money if there's bonuses. Like, you present it like it's a formal process, and just the mere fact that it's a trust is like, shows a certain amount of intentionality that people are like, oh, this is a totally different thing. I'm like, it's basically the same thing, but it just sounds so much more intelligent. So everyone's like, yeah, this is a great idea.
Well, it's also interesting because it's a different way of framing I'm controlling my children's life, which is kind of Wendy's thing against her mother, is that her mother controls too much and she wants too much from her. And then Wendy not only has that you're going to get a master's degree, she has like a 5-page list of shit they have to do for the rest of their lives to get this money, you know? I mean, some of the stuff she's talking about is not easy stuff. It's like, learn a new language, join the sorority.
Yeah, join a sorority. I mean, this is like Glenn Ross. It's like you have to sell, like they're going to get a watch at some point in their lives if they hit a certain benchmark.
Yeah. And so when you tell the parent who's doing it, you're like, oh my God, way to incentivize your children. But in 20 years, when those kids are on a Housewives show, they're going to be like, my mother controls my life. They're going to be like, that witch.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
They talk about the White House, and she's like, well, yeah, I mean, that was really great because after seeing the results of the 2024 election, I'm glad I could share that with my kids, because who the hell knows where we're going to be 4 years from now? And Giselle's like, we won't be. Jeez.
Well, you know, it's...
we're all going to be dead. Nah, there will be no White House or no us.
Yeah.
It's
and then
all
Andy
over.
Well, you invited Karen to the White House. Do you have any regrets about that?
Yes, I wish I didn't. It's like, really? Well, mainly because she crashed her car into the front gates. It was really embarrassing.
And then she tried to give a blowjob to the president just because she heard someone else did it. She's really such a copycat. Karen's still trying to compete with like 30-year-old news.
Well, I mean, listen, when Bill Clinton said it depends on what the definition of is that is actually the blueprint for Karen Huger. I mean, that is a Karen Huger line if I ever heard it.
Yeah.
I did not have sex with that woman. That is a Karen. Bill Clinton was actually the original Karen Huger, if you really think about it.
I remember when he wore that fur cap to apologize to the nation. He wore mom jeans. So
Well, what was your reaction, by the way, when you revealed? What was that? What was your reaction when you heard that Karen was talking shit about you, Wendy, to Stacy before the season began?
she's like, well, what reason does Stacy have to lie? That's going to cause more friction with her in the group. So yeah, I believe what Stacy said. And Karen is like, yeah, but the only thing is that I didn't think that it was kind that you actually waited until you and Karen's relationship was kind of going south to bring that to Wendy. Why not? If you're friends with someone, you hold their secrets. If your friend betrays you, you spill their secrets. That's what friendship is, especially on Housewives.
Yeah, how do you keep your alliances straight if you like shoot your wad too early? You've got to keep that collateral.
Okay, let's stop going back to the Clinton years. Okay, come on.
Sometimes you gotta take someone to the cleaners.
Oh, jeez.
Reference to address,
or you got to save it in the closet. Just wait till the right time. Splooge, just a little crinklier. So then,
this is a real trip with two P's. Get it.
So then Stacy's like, well, I tried to keep her secrets, but then months later, she didn't stand by me. So, and she's like, I chose that time to tell the truth. And Wendy's like, and funny enough, when Stacy was joining the group, I haven't told you this, but Karen told me, be careful of the woman that's coming into this group because she's very smart and she's very educated.
Just
oh,
like
no.
Is she, and Stacey goes, oh. Stacey's like, Giselle decided to come for Stacy this episode, and we still
every episode.
Totally understand
she's been
why.
coming for her the whole season for no reason, and it's wonderful.
But it's like a little bit
more
more pointed today, and I think Stacy was not expecting it. And Giselle goes, "Is Stacy smart and educated? You don't think she seems educated?" And she goes, "I do have a degree, and I'm very smart and educated and compassionate, and also a wonderful person." Throwing in some bonus accolades.
But just this comment. What's so bad about Karen saying this woman that's coming into the group is really smart and educated? Why? It's
Well,
weird.
I guess
don't
you're
know.
trying to say, like, be careful with her because she's going to be crafty because she's smart.
But she's talking to the smart person. So it sounds like she's telling Wendy, watch out, another smart person's coming onto the show.
Yeah.
She's going to
She
try
wants
to
to
get
activate
ya.
Wendy. She wants Wendy to be, because Wendy, like, that's her slot, is she's the smart one. So if there's another smart one, then she's going to be like, wait a second, and like maybe go after her.
Yeah. So she's like, well, I have no idea why Karen wouldn't want two like-minded, wonderful, smart, educated people to be together. And Giselle goes, yeah, I don't think it had anything to do with that. I mean, come on. Look at you.
Let me say this. You did point out that you feel that Karen's MO is that she takes the new girl and then she tells them what she wants them to know about everybody.
And we see flashbacks of her doing this with Ashley, etc. And Andy, because one of them says she grooms them. I think
Giselle uses
Giselle
that.
said
Yeah, she calls her a groomer.
Which is a really intense phrase for this. So then Stacy goes, okay, well, so you guys know what I'm saying is true. So Giselle, you know that this meeting took place at the Tally Ho, right? And she goes, absolutely, yeah. And we see a photo from the Tally Ho, which is where all the grooming goes down in Potomac.
And Kierna didn't get to go to the Tally Ho, but she did get befriended, which is dun, dun, dun. Everyone's like, oh, no. So look, I don't know about some of this. I guess Karen has been caught doing this, but I don't see the problem. Listen, if there's a new person, you go directly to that new person. You go to lunch and you tell them the shit you think about I mean, who doesn't do that? This is just normal human interaction. I mean, Karen's not here to stand up for herself, but let me just say, as an elder person, I go up to the younger people and I talk shit to the people I don't like first before they can talk it about me. That's just how you do it, okay? It's self-preservation.
But it always backfires, okay? You know, in Jurassic Park, the first big bad was the Tyrannosaurus, but it was really the Velociraptors in the second half that were the ones that you really remember, right? So, like, it's like going to a used car dealership, you know, or just a car dealership. You go in for your Subaru, a guy comes out, or a gal, and you go and you give it a test drive and they talk it up and you finally go to you're like, oh, this is great, I'm going to get it. And then in comes the closer and you wind up spending like 2 hours with the closer. And the first one you always forget. So Karen kind of has like first
The closer's
car
all, I love muffins. I love cupcakes. And you're like, so why is Kira Sedgwick trying to convince me that she likes to eat carbs?
She just can close anything. It's amazing. But the point is this. Whoever you deal with first is not who you're going to deal with last. So Karen rushing in to get like a newbie on their side, it always backfires because inevitably they wind up talking to the other people and then they realize that Karen's been poisoning them. And so then they turn on Karen every single time this happens. It
backfires because Karen doesn't have any loyalties. You know, she shit talks everybody. And that's what keeps getting Karen in trouble, is that she keeps saying she's somebody's friend and then she's talking shit about them for no reason. So,
yeah.
God bless. Karen, I tried to stick up for you, but it's already been demolished. Goodbye. So everyone's like, so Andy says, so everybody's talking about the self-absorption, but does anybody here think that this is a valid criticism of Wendy? Is she self-absorbed and is she not a girl's girl? And Giselle goes, well, yes, she's self-absorbed. Have you been watching this show? But, you know, who isn't? We're housewives, basically.
Yeah. because Karen does the whole thing of like, well, I see Karen a different way because when everything went down, she came to the hospital with me, yada, yada, yada. And they're all like, okay, Karen, we've heard enough of that. It's time for us to break the news to you that Karen loves being a mother goose. And once she can no longer daughter you anymore, then she becomes a monster. So get with the program. So Wendy's like, let me tell you something. It takes a strong woman to be friends with me because I'm very sure of myself. I walk in a room like God sent me there because God did. Does that make sense?
Okay, sure, why not? I'm going to leave it there because God told me to leave it there. And let me be the last person to wish you a happy birthday from God. We are going to be right back after this.
So then Mia's like, well, we've had other birthdays, Andy. It's been my birthday. And Ashley's like, oh, yeah, I heard there was some drama at your birthday. And Wendy's like, there was. We're going to bring it up.
And Mia's like, okay, well, I know you're mad, but like, honey, you were snatched, Giselle. And Wendy's like, she's not talking to you. She's like, thank you.
So then Jassy comes out and, whoa, Jassy. I don't know if it's Jassy or if it's Jazzy. I'm just going to pronounce it different ways throughout this reunion and hope to get it right sometimes. And she's like, oh, hi, Andy. Okay, well, you are engaged, so congrats.
What season is it? It's definitely a summer wedding. Okay, great. And I'm told you have the invite with you.
So Jassy's getting to do all her like Real Housewife things that she didn't get to do during the season. So she hands over this big red velvet invitation with like a mirrored back on the inside and everything. And they look at it and it's exciting. And Darius is on the Cowboys these days. And Andy's like, okay, now that we got that out of the way, so we have a little bit of questioning about the timeline of your relationship. Megan from Poopy Town says, Jassy, it appears to me that you were the side chick who made the dude leave his family. Mia, you were a side chick. What's your professional side chick take? Oh my God, the way I laughed at that when he just did that, like, Mia as a side chick. What do you think?
What's your professional side chick take? And they all crack up because that shit's hilarious. And so then we see a clip of Jassy trying to describe her timeline with Darius. And she's like, oh, yeah, we've been together a couple of years. You know, he's a great father to two boys that were both already created before me. Are they Build-A-Bears? Like, what the fuck? And she's like, well, the children are 3 and turned 1 a month ago. And wait. The children are 3 and turned 1 a month ago.
The children are 3. Like, 1 is 3 and 1 just turned 1 a month ago. Even though she and Darius have been together for 9 months or something like that, or a year and a half, or whatever. The timing was so. I don't know how Jassy did not become a Real Housewife with this crazy ass timeline. Like, this is the sort of thing that they would have harped on all season long. Like, I think that like the Kiana slot probably should have been for Jassy. Also, Jassy's husband or future husband is an NFL player, which is, you know, like Bravo likes things flashy like that instead of, you know, a social worker. No shade to social workers, but like it's Bravo, you know.
Well, you never know. You never know what was going on this season with the casting. So Jassy's like, well, let's be clear. I was never a side chick. I'm the whole production, baby. It's like, oh, okay. Well, there's your, you just gave up your tagline that you didn't get. You know, she's been working on that. When they cut her from the show, she's like, damn it, I'm using this tagline somewhere.
That is so true. Yeah. I love her proclaiming how much she is not a side chick while she is literally clinging to the side of the sofa for her sidekick role on this reunion.
Okay, with all due, you're building your friendship with him while he was with another woman. And she goes, well, I had no idea. I mean, he's never posted the woman on social media. How was I supposed to know he had a girlfriend? Really? Come on. Maybe ask him.
At worst, he clearly was with her and you knew it. And at best, this is the biggest red flag you could ever imagine. Like, if he wasn't telling you about the girl he was sleeping with and had 2 children with while you were like falling in love with him, what's going to happen with you when you're in that position?
Who cares? He's in the NFL. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
so she's like, yeah, well, they weren't together when she was pregnant. I mean, even she said that. That was unbeknownst to me. So whatever. She's like, if I'm going to be a side chick, I'm going to get me and Andy Cohen. I'll be your side chick, Andy. And he's like, you're not amusing. Still don't know your name. Can I get her name again?
Is she some sort of scooter? No, that's a Jazzy or a Rascal. Whatever it is. So Jassy goes, well, but she goes, sorry, that was my Andy Cohen impersonation. But it's so frustrating because Monday through Sunday, every day of the week, it never gave side chick. Okay, now you're protesting too much.
And you're also going through just worse.
Looks. Yeah.
You're just going through worse taglines now. Monday through Sunday, every day of the week. It never gave side chick. Like, what does that even mean? So Andy's like, okay, well, you also coined a new name for GNA, Gangsters and Alcohol. Remember when Giselle kicked you out of her fundraising jogging pants party? What was that about? And so now they try and give Giselle and Ashley shit for getting kicked out of that party.
Yeah. And so we come back. They didn't show Ashley singing, I don't seem to remember. Maybe that'll be later. So Andy's like, okay, so Ashley, what question am I gonna ask you right now? Yes, the children are still on the kitchen counters. No. Is it about Josh? No. Do you want to hear me sing?
No, definitely not that.
I keep my love in the carry-on. What does she say?
Healing and thriving, just because I'm surviving. Reviving.
I keep my love in my carry-on. I forgot the lyrics. And looking it up, they don't just pop up, which is crazy. How has nobody made a lyrics page for this song yet?
There
is one, actually. Wow. Sorry. I didn't mean to derail this whole thing. Yeah, but I need to know the lyrics. Like, throw up your hands, forget about all your problems, let's party, okay? Healing and thriving. No, not just surviving. Healing and thriving now. Oh, yeah, I'm healing. Okay. Where's the carry-on part? I don't see it in here. Damn it. Bad lyrics. All right, carry on.
If there's one song that does not need to be carried on with, it's definitely this song. Please don't carry on. Please don't carry on now with those notes.
I got my love and my carry-on. So then they start...
She better not be flying on Spirit because she's going to have to pay for her healing and her thriving.
So this is Ashley being asked about her divorce. He's like, I'm going to ask you the same question I ask you every year. Is it about Beavis? No, Ashley. Oh, okay. Michael or divorce? Well, it's in the hands of State Virginia. And so we signed everything. And guess what? They are divorced. She announced it, I think, this week or last week. That she is, in fact, divorced. So it all went through. Good for you.
Hey, it's happening. And then Jassy asks me, and Stacy, that Andy compares like the alimony and the child support with Stacy's situation, and Jassy asks me if she's getting a divorce, and Mia's like, I am definitely not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not getting a divorce.
And she's like, okay, so you're just co-parenting with Gordon. And she has 1,000 brochures at a crack the back. And he's like, well, okay, well, let's go back to Ashley, because no one believes Mia's ass. I guess I'll get into that later, that Mia's lying about her whole divorce thing.
Did you notice that Giselle did a little meta Bravo moment there where she went, the lies, the lies?
Yeah. So then they ask about...
There's nothing more to say about it. Because I know people are going to say, did you notice that Giselle said the lies, the lies? I want to acknowledge we did notice it, yes.
Yeah. So then Detricia from Austin, Texas says, does GNA even sell clothes? What the hell? Your website's just photos of Giselle and Ashley. And so they laugh. And Giselle's like, well, the timing was kind of off for us to be selling apparel. So we're not doing that right now.
As in, the time for us to learn about how to make apparel and sell it happened 30 years ago. And we don't know why we're doing it now.
Yeah. So and Ashley's like, I'm not spending money on that. I don't even know what I'm getting in the divorce. So now we're community outreach, health, and wellness. Leave your brain tumors in your carry-on. All right, well, that doesn't have the same ring to it. Well, it's community outreach, Andy.
Nothing sounds more like either a cult or fraud than that rebranding. And so Mia goes,
So it's a nonprofit.
and Stacy goes, no, it's a fashion line. How dare you? They are grown, educated, beautiful women putting on a fashion line that's all about community outreach and health and wellness, of course.
And Ashley's like, pay attention, we're not fashion. She goes, oh, okay then. And she goes, we're a liaison. We're a liaison between the community and the charity. So the community says, where's G&A? And we say, charity. And then Giselle's like, a boom, liaison.
All right, so then what's going to happen next? Like, what's step phase 3?
And Giselle goes, well, we'll see if you're invited. I mean, this should be, I feel like Sheree's been waiting for a moment for like a really like shady athleisure to take away the shame that she's had to hold with September, spring, summer for her joggers. Because this is worse than the She by Sheree situation.
Oh, yeah. They never came out with anything. So this one's a lot worse.
Yeah.
So Andy goes, okay, so I still don't get it. So the focus, helping the community, helping the homeless. Help the community. Instead of giving the homeless joggers, we roll down our windows and we say, run, liaison.
You say, Karen's coming down the street. Find shelter and stay away from medians.
We put horns on the front of cars, tiny little horns that only deer can hear when Karen is coming down the freeway. Liaison.
So I love how they this is so obviously just a stupid thing they made for the show, and the fact that Andy is seriously grilling them on it, and they have no answers. They're like literally laughing about how flimsy their responses are about this. He goes,
Okay, well, let's talk about the dueling events. So Judy from Judytown said, if you say yes to one event and are later invited to another, shouldn't you prioritize the first event you RSVP to? And Giselle's like, thank you. Anybody want to answer?
And they're like, but we were trying to stay at yours, so that's why we came last to yours. And Giselle's like, the event was over. You missed the part where we announced liaison. And she's like, oh, give me a break. And now she's like, yeah, the event ended at 9 and you got there at 8:03. That's less than an hour. Listen, 57 minutes is enough time to get their money, stupids. Who kicks that many people out of a fundraiser? That's just stupid.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I thought it was rude of them. I think Giselle actually does have a point, which is like you said, you're coming to mine first, and you should have either done what Wendy did, which is Wendy said, sorry, I have a conflict, I'm going to Karen's, or you tell Karen, I have a conflict, I'm going to Giselle's, but don't try to split it up and give half and half. That being said, Giselle, there was more than enough time for those women to show up and for Giselle to get a photo of them with her photographer that she could put all over social media and wherever and get her fundraisers, yada, yada, yada. But ultimately, I do think Giselle was in the right in this situation. I mean, she handled it rudely, but she was in the right.
Yeah, I don't care about it anymore. It's too long ago. I can't. It just feels like 10 years ago. This was a long season.
Actually, you know what? I really enjoyed this little dueling event episode. And
well, that was like one of the best ones, because that was back when we were still like, oh my God, they're back. This season's great. Because that's the first time we saw the new girl get all offended. Like, how dare you? I am leaving. After she just got kicked out.
It was just like a funny one episode, petty, dual event situation. It was very funny. I really liked it, but I agree. It's not really worth spending a lot of time on the reunion, and they actually don't. So basically, Giselle reemphasizes that she was really angry at Karen, which is why she threw everyone out, and she apologized to everyone, etc. And then Andy's like, okay, great. Well, Jassy, you've been out here for about 35 seconds. Any final thoughts? Well, Andy, you might say I'm the side chick, but I'm standing front and center. All right. We'll see.
You may want a potato, but guess what? I'm a hamburger. I'm never the side. Okay, Jassy, you can go. I don't care if it's September, and I don't care if it's July. I'm not a side chick. Oh, all right.
I'm not made of aluminum, and I'm not made of linoleum, because I'm not siding. I'm me.
So Ashley's like, okay, well, since you're about to leave, when I saw you at the Christmas party, you mentioned that shit flew off the handle for Mia's birthday, so don't leave before you throw Mia under the bus. And she's like, oh, yeah, okay. So
That was good of Ashley. Ashley's like, hello, we're supposed to be talking about this bullshit.
So then Stacy's like, oh, we're going to talk about Miami?
Let's talk about Miami. Giselle's like, ooh, let me get comfy. Because all the women know. So they're so excited for this to come out. So Jassy says, everyone, this is what happened. Mia sent out a beautiful invitation to both Stacy and I. And we see this text where Mia says,
I am thrilled to announce the celebration of the start of my final 40. To make this milestone unforgettable, I would be honored to have you join me as we live it up in magical Miami.
It's so sad to call it my final 40. I mean, God. Doesn't that sound like I'm dead? I'm dying. It's the final 40. There's not going to be another 40 left. I was like, why are you saying you're going to die before 80? Like, have some hope in yourself.
and how could you talk about your final 40 on the same episode that Karen goes to rehab? I mean,
yeah.
She already had to. She not only had her final 40, she had her final liter and her final pint and her final shot. Okay.
My final handle. It's my final 3 fingers. I'm just trying to find the right words. So then, so basically she invites them and Stacy replies, Mia, thank you so much for that special surprise. How fab. I'm so excited to celebrate with you, babe. I'm coming. And Jassy's like, yeah. So Stacy said, come on, let's go to Miami. So we went to Miami. That's what girlfriends do, right? They support each other.
And Jassy's like, and I'll let her tell her own story. I'm not that's a very side move of you, by the way, Jassy. But essentially, Stacy landed and didn't hear from Mia. And at the end of the day, we did not see Mia when we went to Miami. I mean, how do you have Miami without Mia, right? It's the first 3 letters.
So then Ashley and Giselle are like, what? Because she did not see Mia when they went to Miami. And Andy's like, what? So Mia's like, well, first I would like to say I have since spoken to both of them. And Stacy's like, you didn't talk to me. And Mia's like, I did reach out to you. I texted you 2 days later. You haven't spoken to me. Well, I reached out to her via text because it's 2025. Right, Andy, so. And she's like, you can call people who show up for you. You call them, actually.
All right, so what happened? Okay, mind you, I hired a POC.
And everyone's like, a POC? Everyone's like a little like, what is she talking about? Kristen Takeman's like, finally, my brand gets some awareness. But she meant point of contact.
An event planner, someone to dedicate and to make sure that you RSV, my point of contact.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I was like, is that a probation officer? I mean, right? I was confused about that. So Mia says,
I personally did not know the ladies were coming to town.
I mean, she just lies. Every sentence that comes out of her mouth is just one lie after another. It's kind of outrageous. Just now, she was like, I talked to both of them. And then within like a second, it's like, well, I sent them I sent them a text. Sending a text is you sending a text, but not hearing something back is way different than saying, I talked with someone.
Yeah.
With the implication that you like cleared it up.
Stacy just keeps repeating, you are a liar. You are a liar. You are. And Giselle's like, oh my God, please stop her from repeating herself. It's making me crazy.
I didn't know you guys were coming.
And so Andy's like, but did you not invite them to come?
I did invite them, but I didn't realize I had invited them. I actually never invited them in the first place because I invited them.
So he's like, so they didn't say they were coming? And Stacy's like, oh, I didn't tell you. Oh my goodness. Thank you for the invitation. I specifically remember writing, fab, I'm coming.
So Mia's like,
Well, you didn't RSVP to me. You RSVP'd to my point of contact.
and Stacy is like, girl, bye, stop. So she like brings out the phone and everything. And Mia's like,
well, when I learned that they were in town, I texted them both and I said, hey, ladies, where are you guys? I heard you guys checked in for dinner and then they came to the restaurant.
and Stacy goes, well, why didn't you respond to me when I arrived? And Mia's like,
but then they left the restaurant.
And Wendy's like, but Mia, you're leaving out key points. They left the West Swamp because you told them to arrive by 8 and you didn't come until 11. And that's why they left. She goes, we arrived at 9. Okay, I was an hour late to my birthday. So was she there at 11 or was she at 9? There are a lot of things that never get cleared up.
You know, she was probably there after 10 o'clock. She definitely was not there at 9. That's for sure. So now Stacy, Andy's reading the text and he says, okay, you said, I'm thrilled to announce the celebration of the start of my final 40. Okay, and there's an itinerary, there's a yacht day party, and then an exclusive dinner at Barton G's. Well, first of all, that's where you should have just never gone to this thing. Barton G's, you're going to go to Barton G's, and you're like above 23, please.
Okay, and then after party, please let me know. Can't wait to celebrate. Okay, so the response is Mia. Thank you so much for the special surprise. How fab. I'm so excited to celebrate with you, babe. I'm coming.
And Giselle's like, this is a receipt I like.
And you say, amazing, can't wait to see you beautiful. And then she says, this is now on Sunday. Happy birthday, beautiful. And Mia's like, well, now this is a text that I did not get because I did not know she was in town. Mia, it's your phone number. What are you saying is the point of contact? Like Mia's going to go without her phone for a whole 2 days, especially on her birthday. No, girl. Yeah. You were sitting there on your phone reading all your Instagram happy birthdays. We all know you were, so just stop.
Also, don't hatch new lies until all the evidence has been read because you don't know if you're going to just have to walk this one back already.
So Andy goes, okay, well, so she says, happy birthday, beautiful. I am here in Miami ready to celebrate you. And it was read the following day. So you actually are ghosting someone but keeping red receipts on. Wow, that's bold. And you respond at 12:15 in the morning. And then you say, Queen, where are you, my love? So it was like hours later. Mia is like, where are you? It's so rude.
So I still don't get it. So what time did she get to Miami? Did they say what time
she got in
there?
In the afternoon? They showed the screenshots, but like she got in the afternoon, probably like 1, 2, 3 o'clock or something like that. Says we're here. Mia doesn't write back until 12:15 in the morning, so that's like 9 hours later, which is really shady. And then responds like, "Oh yeah, where are you?" Not like, "Oh my God, so sorry, I missed this. Oh, I feel like an idiot. Please come meet me here. Oh my goodness, let me find out where you are. Let me come to you." It's kind of like, "Where are you?"
Yeah,
like, I would be livid.
Then Andy reads the other text, and it's Stacy saying, listen, I'm so excited to celebrate you. I texted and called you with no response all day, and I still showed up to your dinner party, and no one was there an hour after it started, and you still don't reach out to me. That was disappointing and disrespectful. I look forward to seeing you soon. And Mia's like, so what's the problem? Oh my God, Mia's terrible. She is terrible.
Everyone's like, what's the problem? And he's like, well, she RSVP'd and said I can't go to the yacht, but I'm going to dinner. So you did know she was coming. And Mia's like,
well, I knew she was coming to dinner, yes, but I didn't know she was in Miami. I thought she was having dinner somewhere else in the country. And then when I got to dinner, they told me she had left, which I knew she was going to be there because I didn't know she was going to be there, obviously.
We were having dinner and it was lunch, but it was a dinner that she wasn't supposed to be at or not invited to that I completely invited her to. So I just don't understand why I understand completely what's happening, which I don't understand. Like what?
So Jassie's like, hold on, everyone. Main character energy coming through. I flew to Miami to try to support you on behalf of not only your birthday, but also Stacy, who has a child, who left her child at home to be there to support you. Even when I left Arabella. You didn't care. You never reached out to me. So then Ashley's like, yeah, where's Jacqueline in this equation?
Well, Jacqueline was the one who told, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. I can blame everything on Jacqueline. Jacqueline was the one who told me Stacy was upset. Jacqueline was texting you back. This is all Jacqueline's fault. Everyone blame Jacqueline.
Jacqueline's a POC. And Jassie's like, well, Jacqueline told me that Mia was more worried about ink. And so Andy's like, do you feel bad? And Mia's like, I do feel bad because, like, I wanted to have an opportunity to have a good time with these girls, but unfortunately I was, like, captured at lunch on a yacht that was dinner. That was really lunch. And I just know the POC did it, Andy. The POC.
Are you guys talking about my makeup? So Wendy is like, okay, everyone, I feel like there's an opportunity for us all to get angry now, so I will get the ball rolling. If we're being honest, the elephant in the room is that she invited these two women and no one else.
And so Wendy's like, yeah, so that's the bigger point. And Stacy's like, oh, wait, you guys weren't invited. Oh, come on, Stacy. You know they weren't invited because you would have been texting them being like, where is this woman? Where are we all meeting up?
Yes.
What's going on? You know?
Yes. It also shows that you didn't text anyone to say, are you coming to this thing as well? So Stacy's like, I mean, so you invited us. We're the only two people you invited and you ghosted us. Well, that's what I'm trying to say. If you only have relationship with two girls in the group and one of them is a side chick, hey, sorry, those two girls show up for you and you ghost the ones who do show up for you. That's just bad.
Yeah, that's just bad news. That's bad friendship. Mia's like, well, I said I was wrong. I'm sorry I'm crying, but I'm just emotional because so much has gone on this year, Andy, you know. And I'm taking accountability because I did not drive drunk into a tree after driving drunk into a tree. Wait a minute, you're taking Karen's non-accountability. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's just been so hard for me. Can I bring my PLC out here to speak for me? No, you cannot.
So she's trying to do the whole cry tear thing. And I have to say, like, this is not going to work on the Potomac cast. You know, it just never does. And it's just such a funny contrast to what we just watched on Real Housewives of New York with Brynn. Because here they're all just like, shut up.
Yeah.
So Mia's like,
We all are different. We react to things differently. We all have different experiences in life. You know?
And she's about to try it. She's about to try the trauma cloak again. And they're like, denied.
All right, well, Jassy, thanks. I'm going to say goodbye to my side chick, Jassy. Thanks for coming, Jassy. See you never.
she's like, thanks, Andy. Thanks so much. So they
I
go
sleep
break.
on my stomach because I'm not a side chick. All right, please leave. Please just
All
go.
right. The sad part is you've still done more at this reunion than Kiara. Okay.
So
Karen was like, wait a minute. Now, I did look for Karen's womb.
Say, well, I have something to say. All right, we're going to break, Kiara. Too little, too late.
So
So
they all
now
go
Mia
away.
tries to go into Stacy's dressing room. So Stacy is there with Jassy. And she's like, guys, can I just talk to you? I just wanted to say I really care about your friendship and I'm sorry. And Stacy's like, well, I just feel like you are crying right now because we're calling you out and you didn't even say anything to us until we were back in DC. It just doesn't feel genuine. Sorry.
And Mia's barely even paying attention to what they're saying. She's like getting like a soda from a PA while Stacy's saying this. So it just again shows the degree of sincerity behind her. And she's like,
Okay, all right. I'm fine. It's all good.
and she goes, we can't receive it now.
All right, thanks for listening. I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave.
And she goes into her room and she's like,
Oh, yeah, she does her cry thing. I love her cry. She's like,
when I tell you I was cracking up during this entire hour, everything was so funny. It was great.
it was a
What
good one. And then, especially that she's like, it ends with her going, I'm leaving. Next week, I'm leaving. She's just doing the thing where they leave 10 times.
Yeah, it was great. You know, when we found out that this was going to be a three-part reunion, we're like, really? I mean, like, it was a good season. And I thought it was a good season. It was a good comeback season. But, like, 3 parts? I don't think so. But now I'm like, okay, yep. Yeah, we're in, like...
This
we're
season
back
had
in
a good start and a good end. But the middle
Yes.
was just
middle was a little rough.
boring.
After the trailer.
It's just,
Yeah.
this doesn't have 3 episodes. I'm sorry. But that said, even if a show doesn't have a good season, it can have a good reunion. And so far, it looks like this one is. And the new girls are stepping up. Well, at least Stacy,
Absolutely.
are stepping up and making it happen. And I love that they found a new foe for Giselle. Because Giselle can't be there without somebody to hate on. And this girl's not going to take her shit. So I love it.
Yeah, it's great. Everyone, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, we'll be back later with Crappy Hour Live tonight at 5:30 Pacific time on YouTube Live or our Patreon, which is free. You can go to the Patreon for free and watch that. And we do that every other Monday. Get the Traders Recap tomorrow over at Patreon. And also, probably in the morning, we'll have a Southern Hospitality Recap. So we'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks for being here.
Bye.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Our way is the Amber way.
It's the Foster and the Furious. It's Amanda Foster. It's Always Automatic with Ashley Otto.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Put your hands together for Carly Clapp. Catherine DiBernardo has our Hardo.
Get on the right foot with Chrissy Offutt. Dana C. Dana Do. We never miss her call. It's Diane Call.
Erin McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas. Jamie, she has no last namey. You'll never hide from Heidi Eleanor Jones. I go, you go, we all go for Hugo.
Hava Nagila Weber.
We could all learn from Jennifer Kearns.
She's our kind of mess. It's Jennifer Messer.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
Knock, knock, knocking on Katie Mannock's door. She's our favorite streamer, Caroline Peacock.
Kristen the Piston Anderson. Get a bee in your bonnet with Lacey B.
Bringing the funk, it's Leslie Plunkett.
She gets an A from us. It's Lindsay D. Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino.
Fresh as a daisy, it's Maisie McHenry.
We love her on the rocks. It's Melissa Cox. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
This is Livin' with Michelle Vivian.
I love ya, Olivia Williamson. Tastier than Flanderson. It's Rachel Manderson.
She sure is swell. It's Raquel.
Yes, we canna. It's Savannah.
Cast a spell with Shannon Spellman. Let's share with Sharon Eldridge. The Bay Area Betches. Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
She's VVIP. It's Amanda V.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD. She's got a leg up. It's Beth Ani.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Who, what, why, where, and Gwen Pentland.
It's our queen. It's Queen Laifa.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
Know your worth with Jason Kurth.
We got our wish. It's Jen Plish. She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch. She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley. We're ride or die for Lisa Ryder Barron. She's a whiz. It's Liz Sarthy. Always killing it. It's Lola Alkalani.
The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
She eases our woes. It's Melissa St. Rose.
Give him hell, Miss Noel. She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.